Hello, everybody, and welcome back to a place we've not been for a while. Sunny America. Not that it looks very sunny today, but it is sunny, I promise you. Now, this is episode number 10. I've just realised, having to go back through all of my playlists, that I called the last episode episode 10. The last episode was actually episode 9, so I'll have to correct that. Fortunately, I keep the thumbnails saved, so I'll just edit that and tweak that a bit. So this is episode 10. So we're now into double figures. Now, I've neglected this one a little bit. I have neglected it. And I don't know why. I feel like maybe because I like the challenge. And I guess you could say in this series, it started from zero, right back at Somerset Farms map, which I did quite a while ago. It did start from zero. The money we made continued to Canada, and then the money we made from that continued to here. So it is kind of a hard series, I guess. But actually, this time round, it's relatively easy. So maybe that's why I've neglected it. Maybe that is why. But it's about time I did it, and people are asking. Especially you, John. I'm doing this just for you. Now, from what I can remember, I had Bendercat with me. Where did that tree come from? The map has had an update. And obviously, with the update, it's restored some random things, like that tree. Let's get rid of that a minute. Yeah, so from what I can remember, let's chop it down while I'm talking. Bendercat was here. Probably cost me a fortune in water bills, but we got loads done. Loads and loads done. Will it let me drag this? It will. Yeah, so the field was mulched, if I remember. It was cultivated and planted, obviously with that all-in-one kind of system we've got going on. But now, as you could probably tell, it needs nitrogen, and it needs it pretty bad. So if I show you on here, soil types, pH pretty good. We've limed these before. Wow. Is literally on zero. This field here, 38, is zero. Hasn't got anything. Hasn't even got 0.1. It's just absolute zero. And this ain't much better. So that's obviously the priority. Now, it has germinated. Obviously, we've skipped a month like we do in every episode for this particular type of series. So there aren't actually that many months before this becomes ready to harvest. In fact, we've got, if we look at Oprah in May, we've got this month and next month to do any kind of field care that we can possibly do, because in July it's already going to be ready to go, ready for a harvest. So yeah, I did notice then as well, actually, weeds potentially. Now I wonder actually if, with this kind of random map update, yeah, it's respawned some trees, which has put some trees in some odd places, but there you go, not a problem. So I need to go down here. I need to get the spreader, which is probably already attached to this, I believe. Yes, it is. And I did empty it. I remember doing that because I kind of manually loaded them into the barn, into the kind of labourers' quarters. So we might as well just take this. Normally I'd go in the pickup truck, bring the bags back, but this has got quite a good capacity. So let's just go straight to the shop, and we'll just fill this from the shop. And any bags left over, we'll do the usual. We'll go down in the pickup truck at some point, pick them up, bring them back, stick them in our little storage shed. Yeah. Now I'm not going to check on the chickens because they're pretty good. I've been topping them up pretty much every episode. I've actually left the gator outside next to the chickens, which is fine when the weather is dry, but it's got grain in the back of it. So if it's due to rain, or even if it starts raining in this episode, again, keeping that touch of realism. I know this isn't the Keep It Real series, but if it starts to rain, we need to sort that out quick. We need to get that gator into shelter. There is space, I think, in the garage, actually, next to the pickup truck, but I'm tempted to pop a little shed next to that little chicken hut. Yeah, I think that might be a good idea, but getting back into the swing of the fact that I actually have money. It's such an unusual feeling. I mean, even now, 28,151. It's pretty much, on this series, pretty much skin. But that much money on Keep It Real would be absolutely wonderful. Yeah. Different kind of series. And I don't know, like I said, maybe that's the reason why this isn't so much of a priority for me to do, I guess. The main reason I wanted to do this series was to get you on to help, really. But with the way it's been at the minute for me, with time and work being so busy and children and poorly children not going to school, it's hard to find the time to set aside to actually put up a post and get some people to join. It makes it that little bit harder to record an episode. So like this one, I am just going to have to do stuff on my own as well once in a while. It's just the way it's got to be, isn't it? Now, let's pull over here, off of the road. And I didn't set a rule where I have to go to the shop to buy it on this one, did I? No, I'm sure I didn't. So we'll have a look. Obviously, crossplay only mods, so we're not going to have anything overly cheap. Yeah, pretty much base game, really, isn't it? So solid fertilizer makes absolutely no difference at all. So we'll just go with the original, the OG. And how much? 1,000. Now, what does this spreader actually hold? I can't even remember. 5,000. Wow, it holds 5,000 litres. I don't even know if I could afford to buy 5 bags, to be honest. We'll have a look. 5 bags. Yeah, we can. Should we just get 5? Let's just get 5. I think it's future-proofing, isn't it? Okay. 5 bags. Wonderful. So we should hopefully be able to... We'll still do it manually. We'll use the telehandler over there, but we should be able to get the majority of these actually into this, which is good. Now, while I'm here, we are going to park this on the road. Well, no, we're not. Sort of on the road. That would do. I'm just going to go wander over to here, because I see very, very small, but I see black things, black pallets. I have put my glasses on today, so I can actually see what I'm looking at, which is good. Yeah, nice. So, there's also 4,000 litres inside the bakery. That's pretty good, isn't it? Now, I'm getting kind of flashbacks. Like I've done this before. I've been here and I've done this. And I'm pretty sure in the last episode I worked out how much it was going to be, but that was ages ago. I mean, I don't remember things from an hour ago, as you know. So let's just re-add it up again. So it is definitely bread. The best time of the year to sell is January. What did I say we are? May. Pretty poor at the moment. Pretty poor. Now, I'm not going to stick with realism rules where, you know, I mean, if you waited from May until January, it would probably not be bread anymore. But this is just playing it the way the game wants you to play it, I guess, rather than too realistic. So unless we're desperate for money, we're just going to save it. I don't think the bakery will be doing any more. No, I've even turned that off, so I've obviously checked this before. But there is nothing going on at the moment. So let's have a look, double check. Storage. Oh no, it's flour I'm looking for, isn't it? So you can tell I haven't played this for ages. I even forgot the basics of the game. Good. Right. Nothing's happening until we harvest. So that's in 2 months. We'll then top up our grain mill, which we own. All of this stuff we own on this series. It's just kind of bizarre compared to doing Keep It Real continuously, which has pretty much been my main priority for a while. I think a lot of people do like Keep It Real, which is why I kind of put the effort into it, but at the same time I like to be a bit different. Now I have, by the way, in the meantime, purchased the game I mentioned in the last episode of Keep It Real, which was, well, potentially, depends when I get this edited, I suppose. Probably, you either seen that yesterday, or if you see this Friday evening, the episode from Wednesday. I do talk about Police Simulator, because it looks really good. I've watched a few people play it. I've been watching, actually, funnily enough, I didn't realise, but I've been watching Gamer Cop, who's got 4,000 subs, kind of a channel that does a bit of everything, really. And I don't know, and at first thought, I thought, God, that's quite a similar name to Farmer Cop. I see what they did there. It's a bit cheeky, really, to getting a name close to Farmer Cop. And then as I'm watching it, I'm thinking, that voice kind of sounds familiar. From what I can gather, it is Farmer Cop. But he's kept his Farmer Cop channel, entirely farm sim, and he's actually made a second channel where he plays kind of random games. So yeah, it is actually him, but clearly that ain't as popular as his farm sim stuff. But yeah, I'm not in a position to do that. I don't think it works, to be honest with you, to create more than one channel. So I'll just keep throwing in those random games once in a while. Some of them do really well. Like I mentioned in that episode, I do 1 or 2 kind of episodes to see if it's enjoyable, if people enjoy it. If they do, I put a bit more into it. Like potentially I might do at some point some more episodes of The Farmer's Life, because there's had a few good updates now. The problem with a lot of these kind of random games that I do throw in is they're early access, a bit like Manor Lords. I actually really enjoyed Manor Lords, but it would be better when they do a few updates. Actually, co-op as well, that would be really cool if they made a co-op mode on that game. But yeah, so I'm not sure. I'll do a couple of episodes, see what people think, and then if it doesn't get a lot of viewing or it's not to people's fancy, then I'll do what I normally do, and I'll use it to play in the evenings. If I've lost my voice, I do it quietly. I don't have to talk to myself for a change, which is nice. Now, hopefully these will disappear. Yes. You know, sometimes it says 5,000 and for some reason it takes 4,099. I'll end up with 1 litre in a bag. I actually thought that was going to happen, but it didn't. Right, we'll just park this up safely-ish. Bring the boom back in. Forks low to the ground. There we go. It's all about health and safety. Right, let's head back to the farm. So this probably won't be a very difficult task because this spreader is absolutely huge, if I remember. But potentially this episode we want to have a think about weeding. How are we going to do weeding? I don't think we own a sprayer. We obviously can't spread anything with this fertiliser spreader, not to get rid of weeds. So we might have to do it the old school way. We might have to buy a weeder whilst they're small and drag it behind us. But I have just spent quite a bit of money on fertiliser. So we are down to, funny saying it, we're down to $19,051. Such a weird thing to say. Compared to what I normally do. This is almost, it feels like I've got unlimited money on this series. I probably shouldn't have cut in front of that car, but he was a bit slow. So I guess, talking about this series again, and another thing is, I always find it's a little bit more engaging when you have an end goal. And now that I've set an end goal on Keep It Real, it's inspired me to do a little bit more. But on this, what's the end goal on this kind of series? Because it can't be to make a certain amount of money, because I mean, we started it, we already had 1 million. I don't know, what's the end goal? Do I have to buy a certain amount of fields, maybe? I'm not sure. I'm not too sure at all. So, I don't know how long this series is going to last. I'll keep going. I will keep going with it, but this is the kind of series maybe I can adjust and move on to bigger and better maps whenever they arrive, I guess, maybe. I'm not too sure. What I am thinking about doing, though, I've got some. Where am I going? Look, I'm talking. Why am I talking? Concentrate. Right. Here we go. Yeah, I am thinking. I've got some plans with UFG. It's just finding time to actually do them. Of a different kind of series, a new type of series again, which I think is good. Something that I've been thinking up for a little while. I'm just checking. It shouldn't do, but I want to make sure it's not damaging, which is not. But yeah, I am thinking of renting a server, a dedicated server like G Portal or something like that. And right, how wide is this? And it will probably have to be a PC modded server, which I know is unfortunate for a percentage, but what I'm thinking is I'm going to set it to 1 minute per minute, so real time. But each day, so for example, a Monday would be January, a Tuesday would be February. So each day is a month. So you have the entire day to do whatever you need to do in that month. Now, that's in real time again. So I'd like to make that multiplayer. The reason I put it on a dedicated server is so that it's always on, it's always running, never pauses. Am I going to miss the corner, or did I just get it? I think I might have just got it. Yeah, it never pauses. It's always on. And people actually have your own farms. So, you know, anyone who's interested, you can have your own farm potentially. We could do something. Wow, this spreads a lot wider than what the animation shows actually. Look at it. That's interesting. Now that's going to the end of the field. Okay, I can do this a lot wider then, can't I? Yeah, so you'd have your own farms. Maybe you'd start with 0 in kind of typical Rusey fashion, because we do like to work that way. Start with 0. Maybe you'd work for me on a main farm, earn yourself some money. I'd kind of pay you a chunk of money to then move on and buy your own bits of land and literally start from scratch, but in real time. So if it's a Monday in real time and you're planting the crop, you might go, right, on Wednesday I need to make sure I log back in for an hour and fertilise the crop or roll it. So I think it would just be a bit more interactive. What I like the idea of is, you know, we potentially be messaging each other like, oh, by the way, Bendercat, did you realise that if you don't get on today and harvest your crop, it's all going to wither? I just like the idea of it. I played something very similar on FS19, which was an absolutely massive, engaging type. What am I doing? Why don't I just... Oh, I'm wasting time here, look. I keep forgetting this is wider than what it actually shows. I could probably have got this field in just 3 passes if I'd actually thought about it. So yeah, anyway, that's what I'm thinking. Rent out a dedicated server, get some people on board. The reason it'd have to be PC mods is that there's just a lot more realistic mods which would suit that kind of game, so everything would be manual. It would essentially be a dedicated server version of Keep It Real, I think. That would... oh, it's turned off automatically, that's good. Yeah, I think that's pretty much where I'm going with it. So the Keep It Real series, very, very similar rules, very, very similar mods, just to make it difficult. So yeah, for that reason it would be a PC thing. But to be honest with you, anyone who's not playing on PC already, with the kind of announcement of FS22, unless you've got kind of a modern Xbox Series X or S or a PS5, and you're thinking, I need to upgrade what I've got now to get FS22, which I'm assuming is going to be out in November. I don't know if they've released an actual date yet. You should really, really consider just getting a PC. They are a little bit more money initially, but you can do all sorts of good deals on PCs. You can buy them online and pay them monthly. There's things you can do, but you just have so much more. I mean, Farm Sim alone, you have so much more opportunity. But just in general, I mean, just having a PC is just handy, isn't it? If you have a PC which is up to the spec of gaming, there's a heck of a lot of different games you can play. Certain games are just better on PC. That Manadords game, you know, that will be out on console at some point, but I bet it will be difficult to play. I bet it will be really, really difficult to play with a controller. Certain games you just need keyboard and mouse. Daisy, if you ever played that, if you played it on console, it is an absolute nightmare. Just the way everything's static, it's just a nightmare to organise games where you need inventories, and it is hard work. PC is just better. So yeah, you should think about it. You should think about it, definitely. Anyway, right, this isn't taking that long at all, is it? So I've just talked a load of rubbish. It's always nice to talk to myself once in a while, which is essentially what I'm doing. I am literally sat here in front of the computer talking to myself at this very point on a Thursday morning. But I can't take too long with this one. I'm actually doing a sort of late afternoon night shift for a different part of the company I work for, not in my own store, going somewhere else just to give them a hand and kind of get a bit of experience of how certain things work. So yeah, I've voluntarily offered to go and work a night shift. Why would I do that? Why would I do that? Hey, at least I've got time to record an episode, or maybe even 2 before I start work. Maybe I should just get a different job doing night shifts. That could work quite well, couldn't it? That could work pretty good. Anyway, I think as soon as I've done this, I'm going to jump onto police. I can say farming simulator. I'm already on it. Police simulator. I'm going to go onto that and I'm going to try it. I've never played it before, but I'm just going to start from the beginning. Realistic theme as always, and just see how I get on. I'll record it. I don't think I'll do it as Travaskis. It hurts my voice too much. But maybe you might make an appearance in that kind of series once in a while. I think it's quite funny to throw Travaskis out there in these random series just once in a while. Right, I'm going to time lapse this next field. I will catch you in a moment. It does feel good to be back in Alma, actually. It is quite nice to play the game kind of easy once in a while, because this is definitely easy compared to what I'm used to. So anyway, I just thought I'd jump back in. What's everyone's thoughts on FS25? I didn't do anything in particular about it, because I logged into YouTube and all I seen was maybe 15 videos in a row of people talking about FS22 and doing kind of live playthroughs, and I thought, well, there's no point me doing anything as well. It's a bit over the top, so I've not really discussed it. I've just been kind of quietly watching in the background, I guess. Now, some things on it look really, really cool, don't they? Rice for me was never kind of something that overly interests me, but I do look forward to giving it a go. I know that people have been talking about having irrigation on the game for a long, long time. And again, I don't know, for me it doesn't really bother me too much, I guess, really. It's not something that I would ever see, so it's not something that I'd ever really wanted to do. But I will say it does look pretty cool. It does look quite cool indeed, so yeah, I look forward to that. Looks like they've made some of the graphics a little bit crispier, maybe. The fact that they've kind of all of you kind of people that use the older generation of consoles, the fact that they've sort of thrown you all to the side almost, really, and upped the level should certainly help with its graphic quality and some of the effects that they can do. I quite like the look of the mist. That looks quite cool. But other than that, I don't know what. But then I thought the same about this game, I'm not going to lie. When it was first released, I thought, do I even need to buy it? Doesn't look that much different to FS19. And it didn't really look much different at all. So I never bought the game straight away. I probably left it 2 or 3 months before I'd even bought it. I don't know. I feel like now, especially now that I'm kind of in the... This thing gets dirty quick, doesn't it? Bendicat will be going mad. It's not... All I've done is just spread a field. Look at the state of it. I'm just thinking while I'm here, do I unload the bags? I'd like to keep the equipment empty so we can, again, touch of realism. You'd want to clean it. Yeah, it's funny, I knew that it'd put them in a random place. Yeah, I want to clean it when there's nothing in it, don't you, really? Which I'll do now, again, just for you, Bender, and the few other ones who are going to have a little dig at me. I'll clean this because you did such a good job of cleaning everything for me before. I'll make a point now of cleaning this. I'm not looking forward to the water bill that I'm going to get sent though from Bendicat. Yeah, it'll cost me a fortune. Yeah, so I don't know, FS25. I will get it. Of course I'll get it. I don't think, though, I've got to think ahead. I don't think there's going to be anywhere near the mods available for it to make any kind of good series, really. I certainly wouldn't be able to move roleplay story mode over to a new game straight away, because there's so many things that you need. Apologies if you just heard my phone then. That's the only disadvantage of getting such a good mic, is that it's so sensitive you can kind of hear everything. Whereas when I had just the headset, you didn't really hear a phone going off in my pocket. Right, okay. I've just tangled this hose around the tractor like 2 times. But it's fine. It'll be alright, we'll just drive over it. Cool. Right, job well done. And I hope you're happy. I cleaned it. Now, what am I doing now? I've you may have seen it in the time lapse. I'm guessing I probably left it in the time lapse. I had to go back to the shop and refill, so I just filled it to the brim again. Got another 5,000 litres. Let's do it in this view. It's more fun. So yeah, the money situation now is getting a little bit more like Keep It Real. We've got £9,951. Now, that isn't going to be enough, I don't feel, to get a well, either a sprayer or even just the kind of basic old school weeder. Although I haven't checked the shop. No, nothing. I'm thinking I might get something like that though for Keep It Real, a cheaper, smaller version of it, because we're going to need to transport quite a lot of slurry. That would even empty the entire slurry tank, just to kind of keep it parked up in a field somewhere, to stop us from losing any extra slurry in the cow bun. Anyway, this isn't Keep It Real, stop talking about that. So what do I actually need? So if I just go straight into weeders, what is the largest? I know one of these is cool, because one of these actually plants. These are, if you've never used these before, they're wide. That's 12 meters wide, and it plants canola. So you can weed and plant canola all in one go, and it's massive. That is good. That is good. I think if you're ever doing like a multiplayer game, or a kind of a game where you're against someone and you want to make money quick, such an easy way of making money that is. Right, so the widest that we can get is 15.2. Yeah, I'm not mucking around with 9 meter weeders. So it would have to be that if we were going to do it the old school way. Why would I go smaller on this series? But we're about 35 grand short of that. Not great. If I was to do it the other way, sprayer. I don't know, I jumped straight to the back because I don't know. Precision Farming has actually added some. Look at that, 28 metres, 52. Why would you spend 45 when you can get that for 7 grand more? Okay. There's quite a few good ones. You know, we could do with, I'm pretty sure I had these back in Canada actually. We could do with something like that showing up in the shop, if I'm honest with you. Again, normally when I say these things out loud, they tend to appear. That would probably be quite fitting, because it would also fit the tractor. And I don't tend to use a lot of John Deere stuff, but I know it is quite American, isn't it? Well, I mean, it's quite everywhere. John Deere is just literally everywhere, but I know it's a favourite over in America. Well, at least I believe so anyway. Right, let me sanity check. How are we looking for time? This has been just over 30 minutes, but I got a time lapse a little bit, so that's no good really. This is not long enough for an episode, is it? Not at all. Let's go and sanity check. Why am I running to the field? It's not Keep It Real. Right, let's do it on here. It's still very yellow, isn't it? It's still very yellow. In fact, that matches the differences in field type, yeah? So, can I improve that at a later date? Or is that just tough luck, it is what it is? What does it say when I go to the field? I wonder if I'll have to go over some parts again. Sorry about that. Again, disadvantage of having such a sensitive mic. I'm sure you've just heard My Android ringtone in the background. Yeah, it does actually say nitrogen is perfect. So different types of soil require different levels of nitrogen, obviously. Because if I go to, I don't know, about here somewhere, this should now be any second when I see it change. God, we've got a lot of silty clay. There you go. Loam is also showing perfect. So 140 kilograms. Let's have a look at this. Okay, so yes, it uses a lot less fertilizer, requires a lot less to make it feel like it's perfect, but you ain't ever getting the same amount of yield from it. And we've upped that to what, 65% maybe, I guess. This one we've upped to, wow, the loamy part, probably 85%. It's not great, is it? It's not great at all. What do I need to do to... It's funny, expected yield though, it says 111%. It's unusual, isn't it? The weeds are actually medium as well, so by the time we move on to a next episode, we're probably gonna have to get a sprayer. I don't think we'll have any choice. Yeah, but I also do think I don't want to do it in this episode because there is a very, very, very small chance that a sprayer will come up in the shop. You never know. Do you know, I think maybe... I think we just end it. This is a short and sweet episode. I guess a warm-up to getting back to it properly. We'll do extra long episodes when I get people in to help me. Yeah. Kind of works, doesn't it? So, well, thanks for watching. If you got this far, I hope you're glad to see that I'm kind of... Well, I've not forgotten about Alma. It is still here, and it is still something I enjoy. It's just not challenging enough for me, that's all. So, its priority is last over every other series that I do. And let me know what you think about my my kind of talking out loud about getting a server, setting it to real time. I just think that'll be cool. And yeah, I don't know, maybe we select farmers. There's not going to be able to have unlimited farm managers. You can have a lot of players, of course, but maybe we start you off with a minimum amount, but you have to earn money, and by doing jobs for each other, you can earn yourself some good wages. I think that works quite well, to be honest. We could even set up like a main farm that no one uses, just with unlimited money, to then use that to pay everyone wages. Yeah, I've got lots of ideas. I think, oh dear, I think it'll be pretty cool. And if anyone else is up for it, then maybe I'll do it. I think it would be worth the £10 a month or whatever it is to lease out a server. That would be pretty good. Anyway, I think we're pretty much there. I'm just going to get these in out of the rain just while I'm here. It's only 3 bags or 2.5 bags. But yeah, pretty good. A very, very proactive episode. Getting ready for harvest. I think next episode, prioritise the weeding. And then we'll be harvesting just like that. And I certainly think, I mean, the next episode, maybe weeding, I can probably get away with, again, just recording, squeezing in whenever I got the time. But when it comes to harvesting, I'll have to organise it a bit better. It would be good to do a harvest with, well, not even 1 helper, maybe 2, maybe 3 helpers. Yeah, that would be pretty good. Cool. Okay, chores done. In fact, I might just leave that in here as well. I forget we've got all of this storage space here. There. Storage. We've got so much of it on this one. Certainly don't have that much and keep it real. Anyway, thank you for watching. I think we're done for the day. So until the next one, cheers and gone.